Hi guys, welcome to Learn to Code. In our previous video, we set up our server and our client side. So in this video, we are going to set up our database and initialize Sequelize in our project. So first thing first, here's what I'm going to do. If you don't have Sequelize installed in your system, please do get Sequelize CLI installed globally. So here's how to install it. If you're using npm, is npm I flag g, then Sequelize CLI. If you don't have that, if you are using yarn should be yarn is yarn global add. So this has installed for yarn globally. So make sure you have this installed globally if you don't. So I already have it installed globally. So what so if Sequelize is successfully installed on your system, you should be able to have access to this command. Yeah, you should be able to have access to this to show you that Sequelize is installed successfully on your system. So first thing first, here's what I'm going to do. Um while running this project before this video, I had to do some changes to the package JSON. So I updated the PG admin, as you can see few seconds ago. So I updated the PG package and Sequelize package. So if I show you the tree log, you should see the difference between them. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see the difference. The PG was actually previously was on 7.11, so I updated it to 7.17, and Sequelize was on point two, and now I updated it to point three. So you should what our advice to do is just remove the package, like just select and delete it, and then select and delete it, and then install it again. So it should come to this you install it with the latest version. Okay, enough talk. So let's get to it now. Now we have Sequelize installed globally on our system. What we want to do is we want to initialize Sequelize. So first thing for so if you look at this Sequelize RC here, so what this configuration file is doing here is telling Sequelize how to install how to run Sequelize. So if we initialize Sequelize, it's going to come to this configuration and it's going to okay, we don't need this dot, don't need dots. It's going to come to this configuration and see this configuration here where we are saying it should create a DB folder for us in the root directory. So it's going to create a folder in the root called DB, and in the DB folder it creates, it should create its config file, its models, migrations and seeders. So that's what the Sequelize will do. So if you look at this command from this Sequelize, there's something here called Sequelize init. Yeah, so that's what we are going to do. So we are going to initialize Sequelize for this project. So if I should copy that and paste that, yeah, Sequelize successfully initialized. So successfully initialized Sequelize in our project. If I show you now, you should see a new file called DB here, and it has the config, migration, models, and seeders. So what I want to do first is clean up the config file. So module.export. Yeah, ES6 doesn't work here, so that's why I'm not using the ES6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in .env require .env .config. Okay. The reason for .env is because we want to use environmental variables. We don't want to hard code our database details here. It's not advisable for security reasons. So dot db underscore dev underscore user. So I'm just going to copy this. See, paste. So password, paste, db name, paste, db host, This is Postgres. So the Postgres, because we're using Postgres database, not MySQL. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this now. Control C. So we don't want to use the same database for development for production. It's not advisable to do so. So I advise you not to do that. You should create a production database different, separate from development database. It shouldn't be the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create an env file .env. Yeah, so that env file is where I will put in our data. That's where we'll put in these details. These are database details. For env is used to store security or secret keys, secret data, secret keys, so that users, nobody can have access to it, just us. So when this code is going to run, it's going to go through our env file, get the data from the env and put it in there. Like, it's going to go to our env, look for this name and get the data for this name and put it there for us. So that's what it's going to do for us. So if I paste these, I'm just remove all these. Okay. And one more thing, env, if you are creating a new project, always add it to git ignore. Add it to your git ignore file because you don't want to push your env to git so someone doesn't have access to your database details. Because it's if you are pushing the env files, as well, you should as well just put in the data here manually. But it's not wise, it's not safe to do such. So always add your env to git ignore so it doesn't push during the process where you are pushing to github. Okay, so I'll close the env. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create our database. So let me start pgadmin first. Okay, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new database. So I'm going to create a new database. Yeah, let me clear. So I'll say sudo flag u postgres postgres. Yeah, create db. So the name of our db, I say share it. Okay, so put in my password. Okay, so now I've created a database called DB. So I want to give access, I want to grant permission, privileges to that database to a user in my database called Cavdi, a user I created for myself. So I don't want to use the default user, Postgres default user. So I'm going to say sudo u flag u Postgres PSQL Postgres PSQL. Okay, so I'll say grant all privileges. If I'm spelling it right, privileges on database. Yeah, database share it to Cavdi grant. So successful. So we're able to grant all privileges of this database to the user called Cavdi. So to exit out of this, just \q. Okay, so I clear this now. So if I reload this was the previous one I created during test mode. So if I reload, I should have the database created here successfully. Cool. So now we've created our database, but no, our table is empty because we don't have any table yet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to generate a new table or a new model called in Sequelize. If I show you the Sequelize command, show you the Sequelize command. Yeah, so there's something called DB model generate. I mean model generate. Okay, yeah, Sequelize model generate. So it generates a model and it's migration for us. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say Sequelize model. Sorry about the background noise. Generate. So the name of the model is user. We want to create a user model. So it takes attribute, which let me say user ID, which is a string. Okay, so our model is created successfully and our migration created successfully. So if I show you here, yeah, before we move on, let me put in our database details we just created. So the password is Postgres. User the DB share it. The host is 127.0.0.1. Okay, save this, close this. We're no longer needing this. Okay, and we're no longer needing this also. So if I show you and these two, if I show you the migration now, it created a new migration file for us and a new model for us. You called user. So if I what I'm going to do now is going to format this code, clean it to ES6. Okay, same here. We're not needing this. Okay, save format. So okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create our table. So there are things user ID. User ID has a type of this, and allow null should be false because we don't want it to be empty. And require true. We want it to be required like it has the required detail it has to be passed. Required. I can't even spell required again. Required true. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate these. So email password. So this should be email and this should be password. Okay, so now migration file going to say allow now. Pretty much just copy that. See, paste. So I'm going to duplicate this also. Email, email, password. I want this to be our primary key. I don't want this to be the primary key. Okay, nice. So if I save this now and I show you there's something called DB migrate, Sequelize DB migrate. Yeah, so this so what it does is going to go through our migration file and it's going to migrate our data for us to the database. So if I run this now, as you can see, there's no table in our database. There's no table yet. So if I run this now, I should be able. Yeah. So if I refresh, I should be able to see a new table there called user. Nice. Yeah. So as you can see, we have a new table called users there. So, but there's nothing on the table yet because there's no data yet. So, so this is just pretty much it. So this is how. So we've configured in this video. We configured our database and we set up Sequelize. So in the next video, we'll actually start with the authentication part, which is the login and the registration. So we've taking this out of the way. There's nothing much to do again. So from the next video, I think the video will be shorter because we've configured everything we need to configure in these first three videos. So that's it. So please do not forget to like and subscribe. If you have any feedback for me, please do leave it in the comment section below. And see you in the next video. Bye.